The Lost World Jurassic Park came out in 1997 and generated a ton of money at the box office. In fact, had it not been for Titanic getting released in December, Lost World would have been the highest grossing film of the year. Even with that being said, the movie was very controversial upon release. Some people loved it, but others really hated it, and it's gone on to become this cult classic in Spielberg's filmography that I think is actually a pretty solid creature feature and a fun, darker sequel to the first movie. But there is one specific thing in the movie that was altered before release that I think, had it been made to stay in the Lost World, would have changed everything with the sequels that followed. So, originally the Lost World Jurassic Park was supposed to reveal that all of the dinosaurs on Isla Nublar had been destroyed. There was no animal left alive in the island after InGen had gone in and destroyed everything and made sure that Jurassic Park was completely devoid of life. This is one of the reasons the taglines for the second movie were "Something has survived." And it's originally why the Lost World Jurassic Park had its plot focused on extracting dinosaurs from Isla Sorna in order to make money at Jurassic Park San Diego as a last-ditch effort to save InGen. But there is something additional to this information that we need to talk about in relation to the movie itself and the wider film canon in general. One of the things you may not know about the Lost World is that when the movie was screened for critics, a press kit was given out that actually spells everything I just told you out in plain simple English. In the press kit, which you can actually see gone over by Sam on the Journeyman YouTube channel, they straight up tell people that all of the dinosaurs on Isla Nublar are dead and that Site B is the place where the dinosaurs are going to be extracted for the plot in the new film. And keep in mind, this is a press kit. This isn't unused material. It's straight up what Universal and Amblin gave these people to read before they watched the movie. Now, at the same time, there is a very big caveat to that in relation to the media that was being released publicly when The Lost World came out. Jurassic Park Chaos Island, which is one of the only times Richard Attenborough recorded lines as John Hammond outside of the movies, and a lot of people don't know this, but he technically played Hammond 5 times if you count stuff like the Universal ride in these video games. Like, Chaos Island straight up tells us that when Ian Malcolm and the others first show up for the mission in the Lost World, they go to Isla Nublar first and find a Parasaurolophus that is still alive on the island.
Wow, I thought you said there were no dinosaurs left around here.
Life will find a way.
Now, this kind of shows us that there is a back door where they can bring the Nublar Island back in the future if they wanted to, which is what they ultimately did with Jurassic World. This is also why early ideas for Jurassic Park 3 reveal that the Spinosaurus and all that action was supposed to be on Isla Nublar instead of Isla Sorna, and it's also made deeper with the deleted scene they cut from the Lost World movie.
Construction and disposal of Isla Nublar facilities, organic and inorganic.
Kind of like, okay, here you go, critics. The dinosaurs are all dead on Isla Nublar, but if you want to go back, just so you know, we're leaving that door open by cutting the boardroom scene and making illusions that dinosaurs are still alive in other material we're releasing. The actual unused ideas in the scripts for the Lost World Jurassic Park also take this a bit further in drafts that are very close to the final film, where unused dinosaurs even show up, or at least dead carcasses of them are revealed, with the idea that they have already fallen back into extinction. In a draft of Lost World, where Dr. Robert Burke is hanging out with the hunters in the island, he states, quote, "The good news is we're already more than 60% of the way through our manifest for this trip." Peter Ludlow asks for the bad news, and Dr. Burke continues saying, "That evidence of Thanatocoensis I thought I saw from the helicopter was in fact the remains of the ankylosaur herd. A predator must have driven them off the cliff. So I'm afraid they are once again extinct." And our veterinarian inadvertently sedated 2 hadrosaurs right into a coma. Peter Ludlow tells him that that's like inexcusable, and Dr. Burke says, "Tranquilizing isn't an exact science, it's completely dependent on the metabolism of the individual animal, and since no one had any," and then Dr. Burke trails off after a low rumbling was supposed to be heard, and you see these little wooden dinosaurs shaking on the board before the Triceratops head bursts through the canvas, which that does sound extremely cool. Now here, you can clearly see how Dr. Robert Burke is setting up the Tyrannosaur's ending where they accidentally give it too much sedatives and it kills everyone on the SS Venture when they wake it up. But he's also revealing that the dinosaurs on Site B are already falling back into extinction, which was an inevitability that Klayton mentioned in his Lost World novel. Now, especially with the dinosaurs in Site B being more man-made monsters instead of the identical species to their prehistoric counterparts, that was a big part of the book. But these other little things like this drastically alter the entire set of ideas that take place in not just the movie, but the series as a whole. So to simplify things, Lost World, very, very close to the finished product, was actually rolling with the idea that there were no dinosaurs alive on Nublar, the dinosaurs in Site B are already falling back into extinction, and when they released the movie for critics, they cut the boardroom scene, but they still told them, hey, Nublar has no dinosaurs, and then they were making games and stuff like, hey, Nublar actually does still have dinosaurs. One thing I want to mention about the Lost World is that, as it currently stands, the movie is still my favorite sequel to Jurassic Park, but this alternate lore and what it would entail are all things that I think are clearly laid out in the movie itself, and as they started making further sequels, it sort of looks like they changed everything that could have been inferred from this press kit and maybe even the deleted scenes. Now look, in my personal opinion, I never thought all the dinosaurs were dead on Isla Nublar. I don't remember believing that at all growing up. Even by Jurassic Park 3 times, I think people were kind of wondering what was going on with the first island. Plus, Lost World makes enough sense in the lore because choosing to go there instead of Isla Nublar is a given because there's just way more species to take from that island instead of the limited amount that got moved over into Jurassic Park. And then they probably shouldn't clone new ones for the San Diego resort because it would take a long time to do that and wait for them to grow up when they could just catch old ones and put them in fences. But hey guys, these are all just my own thoughts on the subject matter. What do you think? Do you think the Lost World should have run with this idea that Nublar was dead and had no dinosaurs on it? What do you think about the destruction of Isla Nublar, and how do you think this would have affected the future of the franchise? They obviously wanted to like keep everything in the back of their mind, which seems like what Jurassic World Rebirth is doing. Like, is this canon? Is this canon? Well, who knows? Wait for the sequel. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be on the subject matter, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all. Christ is King. See you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.